So hello everybody and welcome. Yes, welcome back here at BSN Network today. Welcome back here at BSN Network. Hopefully everybody's having a good day so far. And yes, I am back again with another video today. It is Thursday. Thursday, May or April 30th, I think. I don't know. I'm not good with my days, but it's Thursday, April 30th, I think, something like that, or whatever the case may be. More than halfway through the week. Tomorrow's Friday, and we're jumping into the weekend. So this is all good. Week's going by quickly. I did not do a live stream yesterday. Too many technical difficulties. I don't have the right stuff to do a live stream. I need something. I know how to do it. I just didn't know that I needed that stuff. So I didn't do a live stream. If you did notice, it said waiting for BSN, and I had the live stream up. I had everything ready. I just couldn't start the live stream. When I press start live streaming now, it would say, oh, you need this, you need that, and that. And I was like, okay, well, I got all that. So I did all the steps in it, and I just obviously did something wrong. So I just went ahead and said, you know what, I'm just going to stick on my regular videos. I don't know if I'll do another live stream or try and do another live stream. I probably won't. The only reason is because, with everything's going on, it's kind of boring. I thought you could come in, live stream, ask me questions. I would answer them for you. But that's not the case. So anyway, I'm just going to go back doing regular videos like these. Not going to do a live stream probably anytime soon. I mean, I might, but it's not the end of the world. So, anyway, so today we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got the MLB predictions / Yankees. Well, I talked about the MLB yesterday, and with the divisions, there's some predictions that I'm going to make. Andy Dalton got released / the Patriots. Now there's rumors that he's going to the Patriots. Aaron Rodgers, Packers, and Jordan Love. There's a lot of heat going on in Green Bay, it seems like, at the moment. So it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's mind-boggling to think that Aaron Rodgers could be gone by the end of or could be gone very soon. Thinking that he's been there his whole career, they think that it's mind-boggling to think that he's going. I shouldn't say mind-boggling. It's crazy that they think that he might not even be finishing out his career there. But today, so I talked about yesterday about the MLB. So let's get into it here today. So I talked yesterday about the MLB, about their idea of playing baseball, starting up baseball soon, playing baseball in Florida, Arizona, and Texas, or something like that, with 10 3-team divisions. Or 3 10-team divisions. I said it the opposite. So 3 10-team divisions. And I was looking at it after I did my pod yesterday, and just yesterday I was looking at it, and I found, I have CBS Sports app, I have a ton of sports apps and all that stuff, and I was looking, and I found this one reporter came out, he's like, this is the MLB predictions. So I was like, alright, I'm going to make my own predictions. So I'm going to read you off of his predictions that he had, and I'm going to read you, what I think. Some of these predictions are outrageous, in my opinion. He has the Yankees going 500. And I'm not trying to be biased or anything, because I'm a Yankees fan. But, the Yankees are, some people think they're favored to win the World Series. How do you have them going 500? He said, what CBS Sports said was, is that, what that was is that the Yankees were 500. They had them playing 100 games in the season, and yeah. So anyway, so that's gonna be true. But I'm gonna put in a little bit of my predictions, a little bit of my stuff in here, and we'll see what we get out of this. So anyway, MLB predictions / Yankees, here we go. So we have the East, the West, and the Central Division. So there's 3 different divisions. If you want to know all the details, you can go back, watch my yesterday's podcast. I think I talked about it at the end of the video, so if you just want to skip there, then you'll get the whole gist of it, because I'm not going to go ahead and go through it again. Just take me too much time. But anyway, so let's get into it. So what they have is this guy has the East Division prediction, the West, and the Central. So we'll start off with the East, since I'm a Yankees fan. So he had the NL East Division standings. They have the Red Sox going first place, 60-40. Tampa Bay Rays going second place at 55-45. Pittsburgh Pirates being right behind them at 55 and 45. The Phillies having a 50-50 record. Yankees having a 50-50 record. Nationals having a 50-50 record. Mets having a 46 and 54 record. Toronto Blue Jays having a 44 and 56 record. Marlins having a 39 and 61 record. And Orioles having a 36 and 64 record. There's a couple of records on there that I agree with, and then there's a couple that I absolutely disagree with. Here are the ones I disagree with. The Pirates. I don't believe the Pirates are going to finish above 500 this year. I don't believe they're that great of a team. They did not have a good year last year. They're kind of in that rebuilding stage. I don't see them finishing 10 games above 500 and making the playoffs. I just don't see it. I don't see it. One, they're in a tough division if this is how the MLB is going to play it out. They have the Yankees, they have the Phillies, who I think could be a decent team this year, especially with Girardi as their head coach. You look what he did with the Yankees. He could probably do the same with the Phillies. You have the Nationals, the defending world champions. I mean, that's all you got to say about them. You have the Rays, who are it's almost like they're the underdog team in all the MLB. They made it to the division series last year. They pushed the Astros. They did not make it easy for the Astros. You have the Red Sox, who are kind of going through, it seems like, a little bit of a rebuild phase, but without Mookie Betts and all that, I don't think the Red Sox will make the playoffs this year like they did last year. They probably won't. But you have the Red Sox. They're not a horrible team. They're one of the better ones in that division. Those are the teams that I say are the good ones. So I'm going to say it's the Phillies, the Yankees, the Nationals, and the Rays. Probably the top teams in the East, if this is how the MLB... I was going to say it here, this is a big if. This is only if the MLB plays out like it is. This is all speculation at the moment. Like, I know the commissioner and all that said, oh, we're going to play it like this, 3-10 team division, but we don't even know if the divisions are going to look like this. You know, we don't know. Maybe there could be way more to divisions than just 10 or 3 divisions, right? We don't know. So this is a big if. I'm just going to get that out of the way. So, the Yankees, the Nationals, the Phillies, and the Rays, I would think, would be the top teams in the East. And then the worst teams would probably be the Orioles, the Marlins, the Mets. The Red Sox, I would say, is an average team. They're average. I would say the Red Sox would finish around 500. And you have the Blue Jays, who I also think have a lot of good young talent in Bo Bichette and Vlad Guerrero Jr. I think those are very good players right there. Those two young superstars that I think could really become something great. You have a couple good players in the Blue Jays. They're heading in the right direction. The Mets obviously have Pete Alonso. DeGrom's been a solid pitcher for them the past few years. 2-time Cy Young winner, I'm pretty sure. You know, they got some solid players. The Mets do. They're also, I think, but the thing with the Mets is they just struggle. You know, they're good until about June, and then they start to fall apart. They're good in April. They're good in May. They're great in April. They're good in May. And then June, they're all right. And then July, August, and September, they're done. You probably have all seen it, but the Mets, there's a meme of them or whatever, a picture of them showing their season in a timeline. So April, all the fans are happy. I think it's then May, all the fans, like, there's still some fans that are happy, but, you know, starting July or June, some fans still. July, there's one fan sitting in the stands. August, like, there's a bunch of people with cardboard things overhead or paper bags over their head, and then I forget, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, the Mets have a lot of young talent. I just don't believe they would be finishing. I think they would finish where they're at. So, what I agree with, these are the records I agree with. I agree with the Orioles. I agree with the Marlins. I agree with the Blue Jays. I agree with the Mets. I agree with the Rays. I semi-agree with the Phillies. I don't think they're going to be great this season, but I think they'll be a little bit above average. Right? These are the teams I disagree with. The Red Sox, the Pirates, the Yankees, and the Nationals. And the Phillies, I semi-disagree with. I think the Phillies are in that mid-range area. This is how I think the division should play out. It would be probably something like the Yankees, the Rays, the Nationals, then the Phillies, then maybe the Red Sox, then the Pirates, then the Mets, the Blue Jays, the Marlins, Orioles. I agree with the final 4 teams. Mets, Blue Jays, Marlins, Orioles. I agree with that. Those are all teams going through rebuilds that have a lot of young talent. I mean, the Marlins, you can't really put them in. I don't know what the Marlins are doing. The Marlins are lost. So you have the Mets, the Blue Jays, the Marlins, and the Orioles. I agree with the bottom 4 teams. The first 6 teams I can rearrange a little bit, but that's how the simulator would say that's the possibility. Now, I just am a little confused how they have the Yankees going 50-50. If the Yankees are the team a lot of people think are going to win the World Series, a team that's a 500 record is probably not going to win the World Series, right? It's interesting because I don't know. I just think the Yankees are going to go deep in the postseason and possibly win a World Series this year. I mean, look at the talent from top to bottom. Their batting order is unreal. There's really no weaknesses in their batting order. Once again, you're hearing from a Yankees fan. I'm trying not to be I'm not to be biased. I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but I'm being real here. Ask multiple people. A lot of people have the Yankees going deep in the postseason, right? And I agree with it, not just because I'm a Yankees fan. Look at their lineup. They've got some very, very good players on that team, right? They just got Garrett Cole, who probably, if not one of the best, if not the best pitcher in all of the league, right? I just don't see the Yankees finishing 50-50, being 10 games back from the first place spot, and the Red Sox, who just released Mookie Betts, probably their best player without a doubt, to the Dodgers, would be first place at 60-40 record. Maybe I'm sounding stupid here, but I just don't see it happening. I just don't see that. I see a completely different, right? I don't know. Comment down below your opinion, because I just don't see the Red Sox finishing at first place. I see them finishing 5-6, somewhere middle of the division. So that's what I got for the East Division. Now let's go to the Central. That's what we got for Central. So the Central, I agree with the Central. I really do agree with Central. So they have the Indians going number 1. The Indians finishing first place 65-35. Cardinals finishing second place 64-36. Braves finishing third place 63-37. Brewers finishing fourth place 55-45. White Sox finishing 5th place at 49-51. Twins finishing 6th place 48-52. 48-52. Reds finishing 7th place 45-55. Cubs finishing 8th place at 40-60. Tigers finishing 9th place 30-62. And the Royals in dead last at 37-63. I agree with the top 4. I think the Brewers have a shot at winning, so I would put maybe the Brewers at the 1 spot and the Indians at the 2, and then I would say Braves then Cardinals. I think the Braves are slightly better than the Cardinals. I know the Cardinals beat the Braves last season. I think the Braves might be a little slightly better. I think the roster shows they're a little bit better. That's just my opinion though. I think the Braves might be a little bit better than the Cardinals this season, so I would say it would be the Brewers, then the Indians, then the Braves, then the Cardinals would be my perfect top 4, in my opinion. I think the Brewers are better than the Indians. With a healthy Christian Yelich, they're one of the better teams in MLB. We can make the argument they're a top 5 team in the MLB with a healthy Christian Yelich. The reason they didn't go far last year was because of Christian Yelich, and I think it was the ankle. I think he had an ankle injury. Foul ball off the ankle, I'm pretty sure it was. So, with a healthy Christian Yelich, who's your best player, they can arguably be a top 5 team in the league. It's not a bad argument. So I would say the Indians would be second, very close, maybe 1 or 2 games behind first place, and it would be the Brewers. I just don't see the Brewers finishing 4th here. I would see the Brewers going up a little bit, maybe finishing 2nd or 1st. 3rd is a little too far. I think the Brewers are a little underrated in this thing here. I just don't see them finishing 4th. I see them finishing with 60 wins instead of 55. If we would only play a 100-game season, right? The bottom, once again, I agree. Maybe you can make the argument, okay, the Tigers had the worst record in the league last year. Maybe they finished dead last instead of second to last. You can make the argument either way. Last place is second, or for either way. Not making the playoffs or making the playoffs, not making the playoffs or being last place, same thing. You're not making the playoffs either way. It's no different from being in last place than being in third place and not making the playoffs. So I'm not going to argue, the Tigers should be in last. Now, I do think the Tigers would be in last, but I'm not going to go ahead and say, they should. I'm not going to. The bottom, I got to admit, I don't see the Cubs finishing 20 games under 500. I think that team's got a lot of talent. I get it, they lost their manager, but I just see them being better than the Reds, being better than the Twins, being better than the White Sox. I see the Cubs being a fifth place team, possibly, if they're healthy, and they're a good team. I believe the Cubs. I disagree. I will admit I disagree with the Cubs here. I say the Cubs are in fifth place, and I believe they fight for that playoff spot. They might not make it, but I would say the final week of the season they'll definitely be a talk. There'll definitely be a talk in the final week of the season if they're going to make the playoffs. Right? That's what I think. I just don't see the Cubs finishing 7th. I don't see that. Or 8th. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just don't see that. The Cubs aren't that bad. I get it, they missed the playoffs, past 2 years or something, whatever. I just don't see that happening. So that's what I got for the Central Division. Now we go out west to the West Division. I'll tell you what, there's a couple on here that I could see going either way. I disagree with the second place one. I disagree with second place. I will admit, I disagree with that right off the bat. I disagree with the second place. Rest of it, pretty good. So I'll read it off. They have first place the Dodgers at a 69-31 record. Second place they have the Padres at a 56-44 record. Third place they have the Astros at 53-47. Fourth place they have Giants 53-47. So then they have fourth place again, or fifth place they have Angels 53-47. Then they have A's 51-41 at sixth place. Sixth place. Texas Rangers, they have 48-52. Seventh place, eighth place would be the Arizona Diamondbacks at 46-54. Ninth place would be the Colorado Rockies at 42-58. And dead last would be the Mariners at 40-60. I agree with most of it. I get it with the Colorado Rockies. I think I do kind of agree with that. I'm just going to go right there only because, obviously they lost Nolan Arenado in the offseason. So, I think Braves lost him to the Braves. And I think the Astros, I don't agree with the Padres. The Padres have been one of the worst teams in the past couple of years in baseball. They've one of been the down highlights of baseball in the past couple of years, and they have them going second place here behind the Dodgers, who arguably are the best team in the MLB. Them and the Yankees, you can argue them two would probably be a huge debate who's better, right? I'm not going to get into that because you would have to, if you really want to find out what people think, you would have to grab non-Dodgers fans and non-Yankees fans and see and vote who's better. That's really how you see what people think who's better. You can't go take a Yankees fan and a Dodgers fan because neither would admit that. I would honestly go ahead and say the Yankees are one of the better teams in the MLB right now. I think the Dodgers are incredibly good too. I'm not going to go ahead and start talking about it. I'm just going to say that I think they're about even, in my opinion. Maybe the Yankees are a little bit better. But the Padres, I just don't, I don't know. Am I missing something? I just don't see the Padres finishing second place. I just don't see that. I see the Padres finishing maybe a little bit back, having the Astros finish second, and the Angels, they got Anthony Rendon, they already have Mike Trout. The Angels are a good team. They got a lot of talent. They just can't put a season together. The Angels, I wouldn't be surprised to see a team being a talk. And once again, almost like, who did I say it about? I said it about the Cubs. The Cubs, I said. They could be, I wouldn't be surprised to see them be a talk in the final week, 2 weeks, final week of the season, whatever the case may be. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Angels being a talk, right? I think the Angels are an alright team. I think they got a new manager, and I think what this Angels team could bring to the table, they obviously get Shohei Ohtani back. They obviously already have Mike Trout. They got Anthony Rendon. from the world champion Nationals. I see the Angels maybe being a better team than last year. And I don't see them maybe finishing as far back. Maybe they finish 4th or 3rd. Maybe you know what? Maybe they are finishing 5th. I just think they may have a little bit better of a record than 53 and 47. I mean, I actually got to admit, I didn't really pay attention to the record that much. Maybe they might have a couple more wins. Right? Because, I mean, they could, where they're at right now, the Angels, they're a talk. I mean, right now, they're a talk. They're not eliminated yet. This is what it is. I agree 100% with the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers, they have them here winning almost 70 games. They're one game away from winning 70 games. I agree with that. I think the Dodgers could very well have the best record by the end of the season in the MLB. I could very well see that. So that's what I got there. Now, some of the postseason stuff, I would say the Yankees would be the division winners for the East, Dodgers for the West, and I would go ahead and say the Central would be the Brewers. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the Indians in the Central either. I really wouldn't be surprised with that either. So that is what we got there. Let me just comment down below your predictions. What do you think? Do you think the Yankees will finish first? Or not even just the Yankees. Just comment. What do you think? Do you think, or whatever your favorite team is, where you think your favorite team will be, or predict who's going to be the division winners? The reason I did this is because the divisions could be different, and that could change things. That could change who you're playing. You would only play within your division, so you could be the Dodgers, and the Dodgers have a decently, once you get down to those lower teams, they have a pretty, same with the Yankees. Like they could play the Marlins. Like that is, because the Marlins are NL, they're not AL. The Marlins are an NL team, so if you think about it, the Yankees don't get to play the Marlins as much. The Yankees can play Marlins a lot more if the MLB plays like this, and the Yankees are so much better than Marlins. Marlins are one of the worst teams in the NFL or in MLB. The reason I said NFL there is because I was thinking of getting Andy Dalton up here. So when you did, they might be the worst team in the MLB. The Marlins. So I'm just getting up my Andy Dalton stuff here. That's how sports are, though. So, Andy Dalton gets released from the Bengals. Makes sense. I had a feeling it was coming sooner or later, if not this season, next season without a doubt, or him retiring soon. Because of Burrow, he's going to take over that job. That's his team now. So, let's go over and let me just go get something up here. It's see. Alright, here we go. I don't see it here. Alright, anyway. So I'll just go to this other place. So anyway, Andy Dalton got okay, right there. So Andy Dalton got released from the Bengals today. Whoops, my mic. So he got released today from the Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals. Alright, so Andy Dalton got released from the Bengals, and it makes sense. Most of us saw it coming. I had a feeling he's either not going to start this season, he was going to sit the bench and leave next year, or he was going to leave this year because he knows he's probably going to sit the bench because that's Joe Burrow's team, obviously. The number 1 overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. That's his team now. They're going to build that team around Joe Burrow. That's the future of the Bengals right now. And that's their main focus, is Joe Burrow. So they're not going to be paying attention to Andy Dalton right now. So they released him. They got rid of him. They said bye-bye. Thanks for the 9 years you played here. I will admit, Andy Dalton's been an okay quarterback. He's been okay at best in his career. He's been okay. I'm not even going to lie, he's probably one of the more average quarterbacks you'll see. Like, not even average. He's just been okay. He's been okay. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's not one of the all-time greats. He's not horrible. but he's not bad. I mean, he's not great. He's not horrible. I would say he's an okay. He's been okay at best in his career, and he's brought the Bengals to a couple playoff appearances. And obviously, I think he could have had a little bit better career highlights if maybe some of the injuries that he had didn't happen. Maybe he could have went deeper in the playoffs if that one year he had broken thumb. They ended up making the playoffs, I think, and they had to throw in their backup. I'm pretty sure. And the backup had to lead the way. Who knows? Andy Dalton maybe could have brought him deeper into the playoffs. Who knows? I think Andy Dalton will either get picked up on a team on like a 1-year backup deal, or he'll get picked up by the Patriots on maybe a little bit lengthier of a deal, a 2-year, 3-year deal, finish out his career in New England. For the time being, New England would have a quarterback. Although I feel like the New England's all of a sudden very high on Jarrett Stidham, and I'll tell you what, I really feel like they are. Like, I was watching NFL Network yesterday, and it seems like they are. Like, Gus Malzahn, his former coach from Auburn, even said, like, oh, Jarrett Stidham's a great guy to coach and everything. Patriots said they're fine with Jarrett Stidham. Like, all of a sudden, Jarrett Stidham's going to be, like, going to be the star quarterback. Like, I think you need to get somebody other than Jarrett Stidham. I don't think he's good enough. Last year when he came in against the Jets, I remember, Jamal Adams picked him off and ran in for 6. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I don't see, again, now everybody's hype talking Jarrett Stidham a little bit and saying, oh, we don't need another quarterback. We got Jarrett Stidham. I just don't see it. I think the Patriots messed up in the draft. I didn't talk about it on the show, but I do my own little stuff. Like, off the show, I'll just think of stuff, or even just, I like to write about sports a lot, so I'll make paragraphs and stuff about sports and stuff, and I'll do, like, in my opinion, I would say the Patriots got like a C+ grade for their draft. They didn't go out and get a quarterback. They should have got a quarterback. They should have traded up and got Jordan Love, not traded out of the first round. I just don't agree with that. But now with Andy Dalton leaving, you know how sports are. Sports are always like this. Oh, now the Patriots need a quarterback. So could Andy Dalton be a fit there? And I honestly admit, I agree with some of the rumors that are going on. Like, honestly, he could be a fit in New England, right? He's an older quarterback. He's a veteran. He could be a good leader to some of the younger guys on that team. And I think he wouldn't be horrible there. It wouldn't be that bad of a situation. He could be there for 1 or 2 years, finish out his career there. Maybe he has some highlights there. Maybe he plays good there. Maybe he plays decent. I think it wouldn't be a bad landing spot for him. Last season, he had 16 touchdowns, 14 receptions, 3,494 yards, and round that up to about 500 yards. 78.3 rating. That was his last season stats. He didn't play that much, right? And he only played 13 games, so. They benched him, or Ryan Finley, I think it was, who came in, played most of the game, played like 4 games, or 3 games, and then they benched him, and they said, or Andy Dalton, and then they benched Dalton, and they said, okay, Finley come in. They got Finley in, and then they benched Finley. Dalton came back against the Jets, and we don't talk about what happened next. So, Jets obviously lost. But he didn't play that much last season. You're right. He's only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's only had 6 16-game seasons in his career, which actually is a lot. He's only had, out of his 9 years, he's had 6 out of the 9. He's had 16 games. He's played all the games. So the past couple of years, he's been rough, right? 2018 only played 11 games. 2019 he's played 13 games, right? It is what it is. That was 2015, I think it was, when they made the playoffs, and I think he broke his thumb. I think that was when it was. And I remember, or maybe it was in 2018. I don't know. He hurt something, and then their backup quarterback had to come in, and they lost the playoffs. I think it was that. I think they lost the playoffs for that reason, because Dalton wasn't in. Look at some of his career stats. He played over 100. He played 133 games in his career. 4,409 attempts, passes. 2,757 completions. 62 is his completion percentage. He averaged 33.5 passes a game. 33.5 passes a game. Yards, he's had over 31,594 yards in his career. Average is 7.1. Yards per game, 237.5. Touchdowns, 204. Touchdown percentage, 4.6. Interceptions, 118. Interceptions percent, 2.7. His long in his career was 86. And he's gotten sacked 278 times in his career. QB rating is 87.5 in his career, which isn't bad. It's actually not that bad of a QBR rating. So, Dalton, is it possible he's going to New England? Maybe, maybe not, right? We don't know. It's possible. It's a rumor. Some people could see it happening. Some people can't. It all really depends on what New England wants, and do the Patriots really want him? Do the Patriots want an old quarterback that's 32 years old? This is his 10th this is going to be his 10th season. So, what do you want? Do you want a quarterback that could probably give you 1 or 2 years, and then 1 or 2 years? I'm not going to say playoffs because I don't think they're going to be playoffs. 1 or 2 years, maybe like 6-10, 4-12, 5-11, 7-9. Actually, see, that doesn't make sense though, because I don't think Dalton would be that bad, right? Do you want a quarterback that can give you years, or do you want a quarterback like? I just don't think Jarrett Stidham would do that either. I don't think Jarrett Stidham would give you that much good. I don't think Jarrett Stidham would be that great either for you. But I think at the moment, the Patriots, who probably never 5 years ago probably would never be saying this right now, that they're in a debacle. If 5 years ago you would just say, oh, in 2020 the Patriots are going to be a quarterback debacle, many wouldn't believe you. Some might, because they probably would know by the age of Tom Brady would be then, and maybe contract could be up by then, and maybe he wants to get out by then. But I'm sure 2-3 years, even maybe 2 years ago, if you were to say the Patriots are going to be in a debacle in 2020, a lot of people would look at you like you were crazy. A quarterback debacle. Because Tom Brady's probably the best quarterback of all time. I'm going to say he probably is the best quarterback of all time, right? And I think, Patriots are a little overwhelmed at the moment because they've had their quarterback for the past, 15 whatever years, right? 15, 20 years they've had their quarterback. So they haven't had to worry about that, but now they're trying to, okay, we don't have Tom Brady. We can't rely on Tom Brady, right? We can't rely on him anymore. We have to focus on somebody else. We have to, I think they're stressing out a little bit here. We don't have Tom Brady. I don't think it's quite hit on. We don't have Tom Brady. We have to do something about this. And I don't think Dalton would be that bad. I think Dalton would be all right. He would be meh. He would be not that bad. He wouldn't be that great, though. Don't think he would be a Super Bowl winner. Playoffs might be a little bit of a long shot, but it's not horrible. It's not horrible. So that's what I got for Andy Dalton and the possible rumors with the Patriots. The Bengals released him. I think it's a good move, I think, to get rid of him. He's older. You wouldn't really find use as him. And not even just that, Burrow's your future of that team right now. So that's what I got for that. Aaron Rodgers, Packers, Jordan Love. Aaron Rodgers, there's rumors. Brett Favre said it, I think, yesterday. He said he would not be surprised to see Aaron Rodgers finish out his career in a different uniform. He would not be surprised to see him finish out his career in a different uniform than Green Bay. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised either. I think the Packers now, and I was talking to someone about this yesterday, I think the Packers now are kind of all right, this is our team, this is our franchise, we can do what we want. And I think they're kind of all right, we're kind of it's almost like it's almost like a nice way of saying, we're kind of, done with you. Can you, leave? Because they picked up Jordan Love. And when they first picked him up, I was way confused. I was, so confused. I was okay, I thought the Patriots would trade up and get Jordan Love. And then the Packers, nobody had in mind the Packers getting a quarterback. Nobody has it in mind. And, I think a lot of people, didn't have that in mind. So I think, that it's confusing many. It's confusing Packers fans. It's confusing NFL fans in general. And I think people are starting to get onto the point now that I think this might be a kind of a call to people that, Rodgers might not be in a Green Bay uniform much longer. I think that's kind of what they're kind of telling us as fans. is kind of saying, okay, well, he's not going to be a Packer for much longer. So, whatever the case may be. And I think I'll tell you what, I think Jordan Love would be fine with the Packers. I think he would be a good player. But I mean, do I think the Packers are going to get rid of Rodgers now? I don't know. Before the season, I don't know. Do I think Rodgers is going to request a trade? I don't know. I think maybe next season is probably the most likely. I think he'll finish it out this season, and then he'll probably say, and then the Packers will probably say, it's time to move on. We got to focus on the future right now, because Rodgers isn't the future. Obviously, he's getting older. You can kind of say he's out of his prime. He's pretty much out of his prime. He's not that. He's pretty good. He's still above average, 6-7 out of 10. I would give him. He's still above average, but I just think he doesn't have that same. He doesn't have it in him that much anymore. I don't think he could. You can always say, well, he made it to the NFC Championship last year, but I don't know if he has Super Bowl in him still to win a Super Bowl. I think it's kind of the Packers are kind of saying, like, we did the same, like, this is the same thing. The Favre, Rodgers should take advice now from Favre, because Favre felt this. When the Rodgers got picked by the Packers, Rodgers is almost Jordan Love right now. Like, Rodgers is almost Jordan Love when Favre was the quarterback. So, Rodgers came in, Favre was like, okay, they got rid of Favre, and, Rodgers learned from McCarthy and Favre and all that, and stuff like that. And Jordan Love is kind of the same thing. Rodgers now is kind of end of his career, and now they've got Jordan Love, so now Jordan Love will learn, and then he'll be in, and maybe 10 years from now will be the same thing again. Now another quarterback comes in, Jordan Love out, same thing. Maybe it's going to be like, I don't know. Jordan Love could play for 2 seasons and be out of there. Who knows? But I think Jordan Love's a good quarterback. I wouldn't say it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for Packers fans. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for the Packers to get rid of Rodgers. I'm not a big fan of Rodgers, and I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of him. I don't know why. He's got an attitude. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of him, and I think I don't think Jordan Love, like I said many times already, Jordan Love wouldn't be a bad player. Rodgers, I do think, will be out of Green Bay. I just don't know when. Time will tell is when he's going to be out of Green Bay. I think he probably will finish out his career other than Green Bay. Maybe. I'm not sure, though. So that's what I got for today's pod. Good 37-minute and going pod, probably around that. I got a lot of stuff to talk about today. That's what I got. So today's Thursday, tomorrow will be Friday. We'll be previewing episodes 5 and 6 for The Last Dance. So that's on the pod tomorrow. We already kind of did that, like, on Monday, but I'll do it tomorrow as well, since tomorrow's Friday. We'll be previewing episodes 5 and 6 for The Last Dance, and then 2 other things. I was reading an article yesterday. I was thinking about doing my own rankings for, like, ranking the top best free agents still out there, like, players still out there. Cam Newton, Jadeveon Clowney, players like that are still out there. I was going to rank my best and what teams need them, what teams I think might get them sooner rather than later. Or if they just generally won't get picked up this season and they'll get picked up later on. Something like that. But I'm not sure. So that's what I got for today's pod. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. And thanks for watching. So I'll see you guys tomorrow with another pod. Hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for watching.